to fill his dull life with excitement, Jack spent $100,000 hiring George to catch him to give George a reasonable reason to catch him. He even tied George up first then. He arrogantly carried the bonus on his back, hopped onto another parallel carriage. He said that as long as George could catch him within 2 hours, the bonus would belong to George. At this moment, George finally broke free from Jack's restraints. He didn't hesitate to hijack the driver, then drove to chase after Jack. Soon he spotted Jack's figure somewhere. When he got closer to check, he found it was just 2 doghouses. Before George could express his disappointment, the next second one of the doghouses exploded.
2, 1. Oh, he's gone!
It turned out Jack had just placed explosives in the doghouse. Although it wouldn't hurt anyone, it could still give George a surprise. George didn't get discouraged because of this setback. He continued driving to look for Jack. Soon he found Jack by the lake, but unexpectedly, this guy climbed onto the crane by the lake. When George came to his side, he didn't expect Jack to have changed into a diving suit. Then he jumped straight into the lake. At the same time, the speedboat Ji Ying in the distance followed closely. George was so angry that he could only grit his teeth on the shore. Jack, who was rescued, calmly went to a restaurant first. He put on his safety equipment, then picked up the freshly made hamburger and took a bite. But just then George rushed out. Fortunately, Jack had prepared in advance, so he pulled himself up to the roof before George charged over. He even had time to throw out $100 to the restaurant owner to pay the bill. The unwilling George used a trampoline to build a ladder. However, after he finally climbed onto the roof, thinking he could catch Jack and get the bonus, Jack laughed, lifted a lid on the roof and crawled in, then locked it from the inside. It turned out to be a secret passage that only one person could pass through, but no matter how resourceful Jack was, he certainly couldn't escape this house. George busily went downstairs and entered the room. At this time, only the last 30 seconds remained. He had a toy bullet that could kill Jack. He thought that as long as he entered the room, he could complete the task, but unexpectedly, after entering, he saw several people with similar figures wearing one-piece tight suits and all carrying bags. They were happily playing on the trampoline in the room. George fired a shot randomly, but he guessed the wrong person at this time. The time was up. George lost $100,000.